The transfer window is now closed. 1 player in, 4 players out. West Ham, our squad depth has been depleted. And is it? Should we be worried? Tough times ahead, maybe. We'll see. We'll get into all of that stuff. Going to dissect a little bit more of the Bournemouth game. Look ahead to Man United and all the goings on with West Ham. Yep. So it's going to be me and Scott, the dynamic duo here tonight.
Hey, that's it, right? Mate. That's it. Yeah, you good?
All good, all good. Yeah, a bit of a shame, obviously, just hearing about Carl Weathers dying. You know, been in some great films, Rocky, flipping Predator, Happy Gilmore.
Mm-hmm.
He was great in that.
Yeah, it's a shame, mate. It's a shame.
Yeah, 76. So shout out to Carl Weathers, great actor.
Yeah.
But you know what's also a shame is seeing Ben Rama and Fornals go, especially, you know, seeing Fornals with that emotional video. It made me emotional just watching it. You can tell he loved the club. You can tell he didn't want to leave, and he said himself he wanted to spend the rest of his career at the club. And it's a real shame.
It is, mate. It is. And that's the thing, you know, that, you know me, I've criticised Fornals a lot on his performances, but I think Moyes has got a lot to blame with the deterioration we've seen in Fornals and probably in Ben Rama. But, you know, you see in his video, you can see that he's very emotional. He'd probably been emotional before filming that video, and he was emotional at the same time filming it. And it's just sad, really, in a way that, like he said, he did come here a boy, and he's leaving a man, and he'll always be remembered because he won us a trophy, you know, and it's a big thing for him. And it's, in a way, it's a shame we didn't get to say goodbye properly.
Yeah, it is. It really is. You know, it would be nice if they could have brought him out on the pitch afterwards. I mean, the fans weren't in the best of moods, to be honest.
No.
Or a little half time. Although we'll talk about the drama of it. We didn't know whether it was definitely going to happen or not with the way the club went. But yeah, both Ben Rama and Fornals, I think, were great professionals for this club. Mm-hmm. You know, carried themselves with class. And you're right. I think just the wrong fit for this manager, you know, and that's just the way it goes. Unfortunately, timing is everything, and people can't convince me that they're just shit players all of a sudden, because we've seen them play some absolutely fantastic games. And Fornals mostly played out of position for most of his time at the club under Moyes.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's one of them where you see him when he signed. He was an exciting young talent. We saw him playing for the Spanish. I think it was Spain under 23s at the time, wasn't it? In that summer that we signed him, and there was a lot about him. And yeah, like you said, I just don't think Moyes used him in the right way. But look, he scored some crucial goals for us. He missed a few crucial chances, let's be honest. But you know, when you look at the overall of his West Ham career, it's been a fairly positive one, isn't it? You know, the fighting off relegation, qualifying for Europe 3 times, winning a trophy, you know, getting victories against the big sides that, you know, we hadn't seen for a little while. So, you know, he was a fan's favourite. He weren't my favourite, but he was a fan's favourite.
He was just one of them players. He was just a lovable bloke. Like he said, you know, Spanish Cockney, great lad, and same as Ben Rama, you know. And I said this online, you know, scored one of the most important penalties in the history of this club. You know, with the pressure on his shoulders, and you know, he'll go down. I think he's our 4th highest scorer in Europe as well. So, yeah, really sad to see him go as well.
Isn't he the most played the most games in Europe as well now?
I don't know. I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, I'm sure it's Fornals. Most games in Europe.
Didn't hear that one. Yeah, so Scott might be pulling it out of his ass. He might be right. If anyone can verify, let us know. Matt Rainey, 199 Super Chat, said, "Good to meet you boys yesterday. Poor deals, Pabs and Ben. Yeah, it was great to meet you too, Matt. You know, after seeing you in the chat for so long. One of the regulars, one of the lads who watches every show that we do. So yeah, thank you, Matt. And it was a pleasure to meet you.
It was good to see him last night.
Yeah, it's always nice to meet. You know, you see people in this chat so often, yeah, and you get to meet. I remember obviously meeting Steve Bell. You know, when he come down to the live night, which I've opened up questions of when's the next one. Don't ask me. That's in someone else's hands. We don't know nothing.
It's in the massive pipeline. Don't worry, it's coming. It's coming.
So's Christmas, Scott.
I have a feeling Friday Night Pint Live 2 will be here before Christmas.
Okay. You've heard it here. Scott's got the exclusive, based on nothing but hope and optimism.
Wait, that one I am putting out my arse, mate. Don't worry about that.
But listen, I tell you what, I was going to try and do some sort of transition in it, but I couldn't think of anything. But I mean, listen, West Ham, it wouldn't be West Ham without some massive cock up. And honestly, Ben Rama and Fornals. Honestly, I don't think Leon will be doing any business with us going forward. For those who don't know, the deals were in jeopardy. West Ham filled out the paperwork. I think it's TMS form that you've got to submit. Apparently, according to what Leonov said in their appeal, was they had filled out all their paperwork, sent their paperwork to West Ham, and they had to keep chasing West Ham up. Like, well, when are you going to get your part done? Like, we're waiting, like it's deadline day, and constantly on West Ham's case. The West Ham finally sent it late in the day, only for it to turn out that West Ham have filled out the details incorrectly, thus missing the deadline. Thus meaning that Ben Rama was a West Ham player still after the deadline. However, in a twist, they appealed to FIFA, and FIFA allowed the transfer to go through late as a special circumstance. So, what a twist and turn of events.
Mate, it's the thing is, right, you can't... it's just so West Ham, isn't it? You know, it's one of them things where... You know, they want players off the books. They want players out the door. The players are there. The players are signing for this club, that club, and we can't even get the paperwork right. And then to try and blame the fact that we had a game. You know, we had a game. You know, so these people that need to fill out this paperwork, you know, they have to be at the game. You know, come on. It's a lame excuse. You're trying to scupper the deal so the players end up staying. It's not rocket science.
Just don't do the deal then. Don't do the deal.
But this is the thing. You've already told these players, sorry, we don't want you. You're surplus to requirements. You know, look at Chelsea with Brozier. 50 million, loan with an obligation, loan at a silly fee, loan at a lesser fee, all right, 4 million quid till the end of the season. You know, you've just told the player you don't want him. So you can't keep the player. So you've got to get him out the door somehow. You know,
I mean, imagine if FIFA didn't let through and we had to have Ben Rama fly him and his family all the way back to London and play the rest of the season.
That's it. Yeah, all right. Ben Rama's, we know, what is it, a loan with an obligation or a loan with...
you know what? They can never fucking make up their mind, these journos, whether they're obligations or options. I thought I saw an option and it adds up to like 17 million euros with the loan fee and the, you know, if they buy him. I think it's like something like 17 million. Something like that. And as you're the Euro expert, you'll know what that is in pounds.
We're probably looking at about 15 mil.
Yeah, which, you know, at this stage, yeah, you take it. But we're talking to...
It's like we said with Ben Rama last night, mate. It's not bad. Ben Rama's got 18 months left, you know, because we extended that year, didn't we? So, you know, we're getting, what do we work about 8.5 million with the add-ons and all that. So it's not a bad deal. And, you know, if it is around 15 million for Ben Rama, look, again, it's good money for a player that's not playing football. You know, that's how I look at it. He's not getting inside and Moyes doesn't like him. Maybe the loan is because there's a possibility that Moyes might be out the door at the end of the season, and Ben Rama is a player that people within the club might want to see hang around. You don't know. So it's a smart move. It's a smart move for the player. It's not a smart move for us, mate, because we're just so threadbare. Threadbare.
Absolute idiots. We'll get into all of that. Another super chat. Joseph Plaza, 499 super chat. Thank you very much, my friend. Just want to thank you guys for all the laughs over the past few weeks, been having a tough time with depression. I'm glad, the content's helped, mate. And like I said, we're always here. And, like I said, we can just have a laugh together and laugh at West Ham because there's a lot to laugh at.
And laugh at ourselves, mate. That's what it's all about. Yeah. Look, we know times are hard. We know people, look, we're always around. And, we're glad that we can help you get through. But positive things, mate, positive things can turn around. No matter how bad it looks and how dark it feels, things can turn around. So just try and look on the positive and the bright side of everything.
100%. P-Gads asks, can West Ham still get Jesse? It's all about Lingard. I heard someone said yesterday where he says he signed for some Korean club or something.
Do you know what? If he's a free, I believe we can still sign. I'm sure free transfers is a bit mad. It's a bit like the Saturday and Sunday league footballs. You can still do transfers up until March. I'm sure the free transfer market is very, very similar to that.
Well, Dwight Gale's just cancelled his time at Southampton.
There you go.
So I don't know whether I'd want to touch him, but
well, if you ain't getting the Southampton side, there's got to be problems.
Well, yeah, there you go. Honestly, but absolute mess and shambles of a transfer window. I don't know what we were thinking, to be honest, because you look at them and you think, okay, that's raises a bit of funds, getting some players off the books, and we can bring players in. And we've just let these players go with no replacements. And we've seen it yesterday, having to play players. Well, we didn't have to because we had a winger on the bench, left winger, but we ended up playing players that aren't wingers. And it's just, it's so frustrating. And it really is worrying.
Mate, I think we summed it up quite well last night, but you can't ignore the elephant in the room of that starting 11. Maybe with the Phillips thing, maybe in his contract it's been put that he has to start. Right? Which for West Ham to put that in a contract, I think, for West Ham to allow that in a contract is ridiculous in the first place. This guy ain't no superstar. He ain't no top player. He is. There's a reason he didn't get into the Manchester City side, and that's because he's not good enough.
He's not good enough for the best team in the world, Scott. Come on, let's.
Yeah, but that's it. But that's the thing. But look, time will tell with how he does with us. Look, as we said at Leeds, that first season when Leeds come up, he was phenomenal. He had a good Euros for England alongside Declan Rice, and I think that's where his performance, that's where his ability peaked for me. He had the injuries at Leeds since them injuries. He's not been that great. Went to City, didn't work out. As I said, I don't understand that move for me for City signing him, and he isn't what we need at this football club at this moment in time.
But Moyes has been trying to get him for years, hasn't he? And I think
Moyes was trying to get Brozier for years. 3 or 4 transfer winners we linked with Joe, and comes out and says he's not. Oh, he ain't the player he was, but he's a striker. And this is what goes back to me playing on the left with the left wing. Cornet isn't a crap player, right? Cornet will give you something. He will offer you something on that left-hand side, right? Whether it's the movement he brings, but the fact that he stays wide left. Yeah. You saw Ward-Prowse playing out of position, didn't know what to do in that position, kept drifting inside. Emerson, probably one of the worst games he's had all season because he had no one in front of him. He can't go forward. Emerson going forward is key to some of our attacks. The way he links up well with Paquetá is what you want to see. He had nothing in front of him, right? And he knew he couldn't go too far forward because he's got no one to get back and help him out either.
Yeah.
We said this last night, mate. We started a game with 4 centre midfielders that can all play holding midfield, and we lost the midfield completely. We lost. Yeah. We had no shape, nothing. Someone said to me today, McManaman, he said it. West Ham just plays safe football, and it was safe football that got us into trouble. That's where their goal come from. They didn't work hard for their goal. They created some really good opportunities, and if it wasn't for Areola last night, you're sitting there. We're losing that game 3-4-0. But we gave them the goal by playing safe football. trying to pass it side to side along the back line is pointless. You've got to be more forward thinking. The system didn't work. The shoehorning of players in didn't work. And you could have the worst player on the planet, but if he plays in his natural position, he might create an opportunity, or he knows what he's doing in that position. And for the fact that he then went from playing the way he played in the first half to then trying to do a diamond with Phillips on the left, that the guy's played hardly any football. Why are you starting him? You've turned around and said in an interview, it's going to take him time to get up to speed. So we signed Bowen, didn't get straight in the side. We signed Kudus, didn't get straight in the side. We signed Paquetá, didn't get straight in the side. We signed Calvin Phillips on loan. You know he's going to take time to get up, but you throw him straight in.
Yep.
Yeah, so let's just have it real. Because it's your signing, he's a right to go straight in. Because it's a player you've been after for ages, he's a right to go straight in. But then when you've got a top talent like Kudus, you've got a top talent like Paquetá, and you've got a player that's become influential in the way we play, and in Jarrod Bowen, I'd got to take time to bed him in.
Yeah, but this is the thing to me. It goes back to Cornet, because we can look at Fornals and Ben Rama, and people will say, well, they weren't really doing anything anyway, so it's no real loss. But this is the problem: is Moyes just gets to these moments where he refuses to play players. We see it. You have someone like Cornet. Right, say Cornet, we have injury after injury, he has to start. Moyes has no chance to start him. Well, all the geezer's been given is 2 minutes here and there. What are we expecting him to do? Are we expecting him to come on and start and have this whirlwind performance? Why is he not expected to get up to speed? Why are these players that haven't been given minutes all season, the Ben Ramas and the Fornals, not expected when they start and not put in the best of performances, expected to have to get up to speed? This exactly. Is what it comes down to.
Yeah, exactly, mate. And that's the thing. He's I think this one sums it up perfectly. That's Moyes' rule. So he's proven in the Prem. But listen, if you ain't up to speed, you ain't up to speed. No matter what you're proving in.
Well, Cornet's proven in the Prem.
Exactly. And the thing is, mate, Phillips ain't been proven in the Prem for the past, 2-3 seasons?
Wow.
So,
he's not. But this is it. Ben Rama was proven at West Ham. Fornals was proven at West Ham.
Exactly. It's the stubbornness.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. And this is what you see. And again, this is what frustrates me more. I was reading through some of the comments on our reaction last night. Right?
Oh, you was getting it, Scott. Yeah. You got it in them comments, mate.
But they're fair play to the comments. And I'm not sitting here saying I want another 3 seasons of David Moyes. Right? I do want us to progress. Yeah. But the problem is stats don't lie. And that's the worrying thing. I'm frustrated the hell out of David Moyes and the way we play and the style of play and his stubbornness and what he does to certain players. But we are where we are. And that's the thing.
Someone made a good point to what you were saying, Scott, actually. They said, because you were saying about we can't get a progressive manager if we're not in Europe, right? Mm-hmm. And someone made a good point. We can't sack Moyes if we're in Europe.
Exactly. And that's the vicious circle we're stuck in at the minute.
So Moyes has to stay regardless of anything that happens.
I don't think so now. I don't think so. Look, it's hard to justify a lot of what he's doing. Right. I think if you look at the end, if we get to the end of the season, we're out of Europe completely. We've already thrown away. Look, we know it was at Anfield. We don't always do well at Anfield. I get that before people start banging on that drum. Oh, well, yeah, we were going to win at Anfield. Look, if you don't have a go at teams, you're never going to win. Right? To roll over and have your belly tickled, wherever it is, you could go to fucking Bournemouth and roll over and your belly tickled and get slapped 4-1. Go and have a go. Right? We didn't have a go. When we have a go, yeah, we still might have got beat, but we had a go. The fact we didn't have a go in the quarterfinal of a cup is disgraceful. Yes, we went on to beat Spurs, Manchester United, Wolves, Arsenal. I get that, right? I completely understand that. And that was a great run of games. We got slapped 5-0 by Fulham. So, right. So basically what you're saying is we turn up against big boys and Wolves, but against Fulham, we didn't bother showing up. And then we go into 2 games against the worst team in the Premier League in Sheffield United, and scrape a draw. Whether you're looking at the officiating in that game or not, it doesn't matter. We still scraped a draw. And then we played Bournemouth and played the way we did. And Moyes will use excuse, injuries to Paquetá, Phillips. You pick that side. You put that side out. You put.
I have to give him credit. Is he did say he takes responsibility. I will give him
that
credit.
Bloody time. But then if he's going to take responsibility, right? I think Nicky summed it up well last night. Danny Ings, who's been awful, has his best game in the West Ham shirt against Sheffield United. Shove him on the bench. Ben Rama comes on against Arsenal, has a decent game, straight back on the bench. There's no reward for a player to have a good game. There's 11 names that go on to that starting 11, barring injury, you're not playing. And to be honest, if you're someone like Cornet, whether there is injuries in your position or suspension in your position, you ain't playing anyway. So what's the fucking point? What's the point?
That's why, because I see people say, Moyes has been, he's been thrown under the bus. He's been, shafted by us not getting signings in. Again, we get these signings in. He's going to have his 11. He will find a way to get Souček into that team, no matter what. The players that are his starters are going to start. And that's it. And anyone else. And this is the thing. And again, people seem to misconstrue, and what we're saying is chop and change the 11 every week. That's not how it works. But you've got players that are your fringe players, right, that are on the edge of the starting 11. What you do then is you look to bring them on with a good amount of time as a sub, right? Mm-hmm. So they're getting decent minutes week to week to week. So then when you do need to start them, they've got that match fitness and that sharpness and that understanding with the other players, right?
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is bringing Cornet on 2 minutes does nothing for him.
No.
You see other teams sub after sub after sub. We see Bournemouth do it. We see Brighton do it. Every team that comes to London Stadium, you see them substitute another sub, and they're using their squad.
But not only that, mate, they're getting fresh legs on the pitch. And this is the thing with the Cornet substitution, making it beyond the 90th minute, but then taking Kudus off, who's your most potent threat.
Oh, mate, I was baffled. I was dumbfounded.
Once again, we're at home. Yeah, look, we're away from home. We'll take the point, because it's a point. You're away from home. Going away from home can be tough. Yeah, you take the point. You're at home. Yeah, you're taking your one of your most potent attackers off, bringing on another attacking player to see out the draw.
We should be throwing our kitchen sink at them. You know what I mean? Like, that's really, truly, we should be. Mate,
if we got to the stage last night, 15 minutes left to go, right? We won all. Moyes makes attacking subs, and we go for it, and we get beat. All right, there'll be people out there sitting there going, he shouldn't have made them subs. He should have seen out a draw, right? But at the end of the day, at least he went for it. At least he showed some bottle and went for the game. And that's what I want to see, because we now, they'll turn up and perform against Manchester United. Right? We'll get screwed over by some dodgy refereeing decision and lose the game, no doubt. Right? But we'll actually turn up. Then we'll go against Arsenal. We'll turn up again because we raise our game for them sides. Beating the Bournemouths and Sheffield United is more important than beating the Manchester Uniteds and the Arsenals.
Yeah, well, there's more Bournemouths and Sheffield Uniteds than there are Man Uniteds and Arsenal.
And that's it, mate.
Someone said this online. I think it's at West Ham Central, going, we've only lost 1 in 11 or something, which sounds amazing on paper. But the problem is, when they're mostly draws, you look at it and you go, well, if you swapped 2 draws, right, for a loss and a win,
you
get more points. If you have 4 draws and you go, right, well, we'll have, we'll take 3 of those draws and turn them into losses, and then we'll turn one of them into a win. We have the same points. Like, mathematically,
it's no difference.
It sounds good, but it's not. I would rather have, a loss here and there, and then more win and a win that gives us more points. Like, so it's not as good as it sounds when you get draw after draw after draw.
Exactly, and that's the thing, Danny. If you look at it, right? We beat Sheffield United. We keep that 4-point buffer against Manchester United. We beat Bournemouth. We keep that 4-point buffer against Manchester United.
Yeah.
We go to Old Trafford and get beat. Fair enough. Go to Arsenal and get beat. Man United might end up 2 points in front of us. Yeah, but you're still in that position where, well, if you go to Old Trafford and get a draw, lose to Arsenal, United can't overtake you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's just being that little bit more dynamic and that little bit more of a threat going forward, because we don't show. We have got when Paquetá's back, outside of City, Liverpool, and probably Arsenal, I think we've got the best front three in Bowen, Kudus, and Paquetá.
Yeah,
I really do. Yeah, you can probably sit there and say Tottenham's front three is quite good, but I think ours is better.
Yeah, I would have ours. Son is obviously their best.
Yeah,
in their front three, but Richarlison, Kulusevski's the other one.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's just we don't utilize our attack. You know, we struggle defensively now. We're looking a bit lost defensively, in my opinion. You know, Zuma, I thought had a mare last night. Mavropanos makes mistakes. You know, Zuma's looked solid all season, but for some reason at the moment he looks very, very like nervy and weak.
I think it seems to be a fitness thing. The guy's like limbering around, and I think it's a fitness. I've got to read Steve's super chat. Steve WHU Bell with 99 super chat. Thank you as always, Steve. Really appreciate you, mate. Says not looking forward to Sunday, lads. Could be anything. There we go. This type of timing. Zuma looks like he is limping more than ever. For fuck's sake, yeah. He was injured until recently, wasn't he? And although we've had this time, I don't know whether it's just injuries just catching up to him. You know, his body's starting to feel it.
I'm hearing his knees are shot.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. He's 29 years old. He's not even. Do you know what I mean? That's sad.
And the thing is, Dan, there's younger defenders out there who are not getting in the side who are pretty decent. Chalobah at Chelsea.
Mm.
You know, the whole thing is we're looking at homegrown players. Well, he's an homegrown player. You know, he's not playing for Chelsea. Why not go and have a look? You know, this is the thing, and you're rushing players back from injury. Bowen doesn't look 100%. Yeah, I think we've rushed him back because of the injury to Paquetá. You know, we rushed Paquetá back to play against Bristol. As much as Paquetá probably said he was fit, the medical team's got to sit there and say, well, hold on, you know, that's a bit of a maybe sit out this one, see how you go.
But you know the worry is, Scott, is we've had this long period off where we didn't play in the FA Cup, and there was a long period, we had quite a bit of time off between Sheffield United and Bournemouth, and the players looking like this. We've got a busy schedule coming up the rest of the month in February. Yep. So if the players are, not looking 100% now, we've got, like I said, from Bournemouth last night, and away at Old Trafford on Sunday, and then we got Arsenal what day?
Arsenal Sunday as well.
So Sunday. So at least they get 7 days, but still, it's gonna. And when Europe starts the end of the month, and I told you it was a blessing in disguise that we went out of that FA Cup, because with this squad depth, no chance, absolutely no chance.
And that's the thing, you couldn't. There was no way we could compete on 3 levels with the squad that we've got, especially now the squad's been cut.
Yeah, it's going to be tough competing on 2. It'd be hard competing on 1 with this squad depth.
Yeah, mate, I'll be honest. I'd get the 42 points and then just go all out for the Europa League.
Yeah,
just go all out for that, because at the end of the day, it's a trophy.
Yeah, that's it. And look, if we won that it would be amazing. But it's a tough one.
Mate, there's a lot of good sides in there. Look, you've got to be the best. You've got to beat the best. But this is a lot harder a Europa League than it was when we got to the semi-final.
Look, I have confidence, provided we keep our best players fit. The fact that Kudus, Bowen, Paqueta all got injured very close proximity to each other, while Antonio was also injured.
Mm-hmm.
Very worrying. Bad omen. I'm hoping that's it now. Right? Okay, we've got your obligatory injury out of the way.
Yeah.
Carry on to full fitness, because it's like you take one out and it's like it really impacts the other two, how they perform. You really
Yeah.
felt Paqueta's presence missing last night. You know, we need all three of them to be fit. You know, and Antonio's a good backup, I think.
Well, this is the thing, and Antonio coming back from injury could be key to how the season pans out. You know, because the annoying thing is when you look at having Paquetá out, if you're not gonna play your play Cornet, if you had a front three of Bowen, Antonio, and Kudus, it offers a threat. Always offers a threat.
Yeah,
You know, because of the power and the pace that Antonio has. We know Antonio when he's on the ball can be unplayable.
yeah.
And
I think Bowen is a better player than Antonio, but Antonio is a better 9. Like he's better at leading the line than Bowen. He's a better striker.
I think we've said it before, Dan. As much as Bowen does great jobs up there playing as the 9, he's so much better running at players with the ball.
Yeah,
you know, he can't hold up the ball like, you know. We've all seen Antonio. We know sometimes that ball bounces off him like a fucking, like he's in playing ping pong or something. Do you know what I mean? It's just pop straight off. But when he does hold it up and when he is on his game, he offers that. With Bowen, he's not got that about him. Same as Danny Ings when Danny Ings plays up there by himself. He's not got that. You know, and again, we saw against Sheffield United how Ings can work in that 10. So going into the European games, you've got options to sort of rotate and try other players out. But you've then got to be doing that in the league games when you're playing the teams like Bournemouth and Sheffield United. And I'm not disrespecting Bournemouth and Sheffield United, but you're not Man United. Why do I say Man United? Because they're not Man United anymore. You're not the Arsenals. You're not the Man Cities. You're not the Liverpools. You know, your sides that you look at us as a side that you can beat. We look at you as a side that we can beat. And because of our league position and the way we've been over the last few years, we're more likely to beat you. But even though we haven't beaten Bournemouth this season, which is terrible. But
I don't think it's disrespectful to say we should be beating Bournemouth, because if we have ambitions of qualifying for Europe again or winning the Europa League, we should at home, right? At home, be looking to beat teams like Bournemouth. We went and got a point near the start of the season, right? We drew at Bournemouth. No one was, you know, it was like, well, we don't do too well there. We could have, you know, ideally we'd like to win, but you know, Bournemouth away. But you know, at home, these are the games. If you have ambition, if you're serious, you have to win. I'm sorry, I don't care whether people think it's disrespectful. It's not. You got to win that.
Yeah, and that's what it is, mate. That's what it boils down to. Look, even though Sheffield United are a poor side, going away from home and not getting beat is a big thing in the Premier League. That is the thing for me, you know, because teams like that, they make it hard to beat them. Right. So you can sit there. If we had got a point now and then won our home game, you're sitting there going, you know what, 4 points out of them 2 games. We've been in that position Sheffield United have been in before, where you're fighting for your lives. You know, you pick up results playing at home. You could take that. But the fact we drew there and then drew with Bournemouth playing poorly. Yeah. And that's what it is, playing poorly. Yeah, we didn't even play well. And like you said last night, mate, we got that penalty. That should have spurred us on. All it done was spurred Bournemouth on. They come and attacked and attacked and attacked and attacked.
I said to you, like, if any during the game, if any team looks like they're going to go on and win it, it was Bournemouth. I felt more like Bournemouth could get a winner than we could.
Yeah, exactly. You
know, where's the mentality? I don't know, but this is what I'm saying. We'll turn up and give a good go against Man United, and they'll still find a way to get results. They're jammy bastards, as we saw last night. But you know, in the grand scheme of things, you've got to get up for the Bournemouth. You've got to get up for the Sheffield Uniteds.
Yep.
You know, like I said, we didn't do ourselves any favors with the lineup, but I don't want to see that again. But
you're gonna see it Sunday. Don't worry about that.
Well, this is it actually. Let's quickly, because look, obviously, bring a little segment back from the old preview days, right? With the lineups, what the hell would you play? Look, Paqueta apparently isn't going to be back until the Arsenal game, right? Yeah. So Paqueta's probably not going to be available.
Yep.
I mean, look, lineup wise, Moyes surely, right? There's no way he is going to play Ward-Prowse on the left wing again. Surely he's learned his lesson. The fact that he changed things at half time, but he put Phillips there. Is he going to put Phillips there? I don't know. I mean,
he changed the system, didn't he? He tried to play a diamond with Phillips on the left of the diamond.
I mean, how many teams do you see play diamonds these days?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
The thing is, mate,
right, I was for bloody 9 years.
I was saying this to someone earlier. Why didn't we just go 3 at the back yesterday? 3 at the back. You could have played a Bonner, Zuma and Mavropanos, Emerson left wing. You could have had Johnson right wing. You could have had Kudus and Bowen up top together, and then picked whoever you want as your 3-man midfield. You could have had Phillips, Alvarez, and Ward-Prowse. You could have had Alvarez, Souček, Ward-Prowse, whatever you wanted to do, right? Bit more stability there.
People playing in Phillips position. And Souček in. That's the problem.
But that's what I'm saying. You've got the option to do that. You could have done that. It ain't hard. You defensively, you're a 5. Attacking, you're a 3 at the back. Yeah. Emerson, we can play a wing back. Johnson, you saw how happy he was playing centre midfield and running with the ball. He'd happily play right wing back. So you've got players who are playing in a very natural position instead of shoehorning players into a position that they're not. And look, it's all right for us to sit here and say, look, they work on training and all that. You're a footballer, right? If you're told to go and play football, well, this is where you're playing, you should know how to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So be more natural, have a more natural thing. So against Manchester United, that's exactly what I do. If Aguerd's back, Aguerd, Zuma, Mavropanos is your back 3. Johnson right wing, Emerson left wing. I'd go for Alvarez. We're saying Paquetá's not back. So I'm going to go, my midfield will be Alvarez, Phillips and Ward-Prowse with Kudus and Bowen up top.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then you've got Souček to bring off the bench because if you need a goal, set piece wise, so long as Ward-Prowse's deliveries are 10 times better than what they were last night, will get you a goal and he can give you something defensively. Yeah. So that's what I would go for if it was me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But we both know that no matter what, Souček will be in that starting 11.
Yep.
He will be in that starting 11. And it's just a case of, is it going to be, who's going to be dropped? I would be interested if he dropped Phillips after his debut. The thing is, I think this is the problem what he's done, right? Is if he didn't start Phillips, but brought him on as a sub, eased him in like he did with some of the other signings, then it wouldn't be an issue. But the problem is he started Phillips. If he drops him the very next game, that's going to really knock his confidence early into his time at West Ham.
Listen, Phillips is starting against Manchester United, mate. 100%
so,
Phillips.
Who's coming out? Who do you think gets dropped?
In all honesty, Alvarez. He'll drop Alvarez.
If he drops.
He'll drop Alvarez, right? And that, look back at last night and how many last-ditch tackles in that second half did Alvarez make? In the penalty area. And that will be because, like you said, Souček will start. And Souček is becoming the scapegoat for Moyes, right? He's the easy target, yeah, because on the ball, he's the weakest of all our midfielders. But he has a key role. He works hard. He wins the ball in the air. He is an attacking threat. Defensively, he's always there for you. And he puts himself on the line. And you can't knock that for him.
So why, right? But that's what I'm saying. Why in your right mind, not you, but why more in his right mind would Moyes drop one of our most important players away at Old Trafford? You might as well forfeit if he don't start.
But that's what I said. If it's not, he's going to drop Ward-Prowse. So then you've lost all your there's no creativity in that side because you've just Paquetá's injured. You just took Ward-Prowse off. You're dropping Ward-Prowse. And this is the worrying thing, mate. This is the really worrying. He won't play that system. It'll be the same 11 that started against Bournemouth will start against Manchester United without foul.
I mean, he'd have to be a complete idiot to do that. If he to do what he did, that was disastrous against Bournemouth. If he did that, honestly, he'd be a complete idiot, and I would have absolutely no faith in him going forward.
He's not going to start Cornet. He's not going to start. I'll be shocked if he starts Danny Ings. We all saw that last night, and if he doesn't address the fact that Right, he said he's took responsibility for it. He made a mistake. Right. So, come Sunday, fix that mistake.
Well, yeah, if he plays the same, he's going to look like a right idiot if he goes and says, I made a mistake, and then goes and repeats that mistake against Man United away. So,
as I said, you know, the way that was last night with that centre midfield, I'd rather see Creswell playing left back and play Emerson at left wing.
Yeah, I mean
Creswell's been awful
right now, but yeah, at least Emerson's, at least would have something on that left. We saw so much space, just acres of space.
And this is the thing. It's the opportunity to give a youngster a go. Yeah. You know, again, you've got players out of position.
Oh, yeah. It's not going to happen. And this is the problem, right? And when people were saying, well, Ben Rama didn't play and Fornals didn't play, you know, so it don't matter if they're gone. When we get these injuries, rather than Moyes bringing up youngsters.
Sorry, hold on. Sorry. I didn't say Alvarez was our weakest player on the ball. Souček is the weakest player on the ball in our midfield.
By far.
Yeah. I never said Alvarez. I know I've had a couple of whiskies, but I ain't that bad. You know, no. Alvarez, I've never said Alvarez our the weakest link on the ball. Souček's the weakest link on the ball out of all our midfielders. So just check your facts before you start commenting, please.
Oh, but yes, you've been told. But yeah, so no, right. So, you know, to expand on this point is with Ben Rama, right? Okay, Ben Rama wasn't given a load of minutes, right? But if Paqueta gets injured, Moyes is more inclined to play a Ben Rama. Who can play on the left, right? But this is the problem without a Fornals and a Ben Rama, who Moyes would trust a lot more than a youngster. Now, what he would do is be more inclined, rather than bring up a youngster who naturally can play in that position, he will shoehorn players into other positions and play them out of position, as Graham would say, square peg round hole.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the problem. And now having Fornals and Ben Rama out, that's what he's, you know, given himself and left himself. It's like he's not going to sit. He don't fancy Cornet at all. Never going to play him. Don't fancy or don't trust the youngsters. They're never going to get a chance. So what is he going to do? He will take players and play them well out of position. You'll see Alvarez on the left wing before you see a youngster.
Of course,
you know.
And this is the thing, because it's the stubbornness. It's the stubbornness of it, of the it doesn't. You don't trust. You know, your decision making of your policy of not trusting a youngster, not giving a youngster a go. Right, you're playing a player out of position, and then Evans come at the end of the game and saying you made a mistake. Yeah, no one's. You give a youngster a go, and the youngster has a poor game. People will get on the back of it. You saw it against with Mabama against Bristol City. He comes on. People start proper having a pop at him, you know, and his performance wasn't great, but the team around him wasn't great. You know, we dropped to Bristol City's level. We've started playing crap football. And let's be honest, we haven't stopped playing crap football since that game against bloody Bristol City. It's been that entertaining throughout the season, but do you get what I mean? And you can't ridicule a youngster on one game. Yeah, who's not, again, like we said with Fornals, like we said with Ben Rama, and the same with Cornet. They're not getting minutes.
Yeah.
Right, so you can't expect miracles when they start. But the difference is, if you're starting a natural player in a natural position, they're going to offer you more than playing someone who's not natural in that space.
And,
you know, and that's what it is. If he makes that same mistake against Manchester United, I will literally flip to the Moyes out clamp.
Yeah.
If I see that same starting 11, I'm jumping on that Moyes out bandwagon and I'll stick to it till he goes.
Yeah, because what faith can you have in him to make any decisions for the rest of the season? I mean, seeing that, Ward-Prowse was so static for a left wing, for a player that's playing left wing. How many times do we see him pass to Emerson and then not move? He don't pass and then move into space to receive the pass. He passes and stands still. And lets the player watches them run off and try and
He passes and moves as if he's in centre midfield because that's what he'd do. He'd look to receive the ball because he wouldn't push on forward. If he's receiving, if he's getting the ball there and then giving it to Emerson, then he's looking for the pass beyond him. Emerson's looking to go forward. Then Ward-Prowse is checking into that sort of deeper line midfield role. So if the ball comes back to him, he can pick a pass in another direction. So he's doing what his natural game is to do. Whereas as a left winger, the natural game for a left winger is I need to get forward. I need to get the ball in the box. I need to get in the box myself.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, also, what happened to our press? You know, Bowen and Ward-Prowse especially were such key points for us to press, you know, higher up the pitch, win the ball back early, and it was effective. Worked the second half against Spurs. You know, we see it time and time again. Why have we stopped that?
Our press last night, Dan, was Souček and Bowen. That was the press. No one else pressed with them. No. It was Bowen and Souček. Souček was sort of playing as a number 10. Yeah, you know, that's what you see because when you see the
weird player, Souček, isn't he? Like, what is he? What is he supposed to be? Really and truly, as a player. Because you want me? Is he a defensive midfielder? Is he a box to box? Is he a centre? Is he an attacking midfielder? You know, what is he supposed to be as a player?
He's a player. He gives his all, doesn't he? That's the thing.
He gives his all. That's it. That's.
And he, to be fair, he did almost score twice. And we said it when that it was good defending. Dan got a bit ridiculed by Graham for that chance.
I didn't even fucking have a go at Graham. He was so snappy when he's had a few sherbets, got a bit leery, right? So Souček goes for that header and it goes over. I didn't say fucking Souček. I just went like out of frustration because I'm so frustrated.
Do you know what, right, Dan? I'll defend you a little bit, right? Because you turned to me and I went, if anyone you wanted in that position for a diving header, it would have been Souček. And then Graham just turned.
Yeah. He went mad, even though he'd been fucking swearing and going mad himself, right? And because Souček, because I went when Souček missed the header, I just went like that. All of a sudden, it's a good defending. It's a good defending. I never said it wasn't. I never fucking said it wasn't. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I threatened to grass him up to the stewards for sitting in the wrong seat. So pipe down after that. I wish he was here tonight now. You got me ready for a Graham round. But yeah, no, it's just I think it's just a weird one because you can't define what really he is as a player. Like you can, like you say, you know, you can sit there and look at Emerson and go, well, he's a left back, and Soufal's a right back, and he's this position. Souček's just weird. He's just on the pitch and he kind of does his own thing.
Yeah.
So it's a conundrum. And like I said, no one's saying bin him off, sell him. We've said he'd be a fantastic impact sub.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's the same with Antonio. You know, Antonio can be that impact sub. You know, and that's the problem. We've got, like with Antonio, it's injuries, but you've got players there within the squad that can be impact subs. They just don't get used in the right way. That's the thing.
Yeah.
This comment here with Soufal connects more because I think it's just time. You know, playing time alongside him. That's the difference with Johnson. And the thing is, Soufal's crosses are very hit and miss, but the weaker part of Johnson's game is that ball into the box.
Yeah.
Some of his crossing is terrible.
Soufal's got the assists to back it.
Yeah.
I mean, back it up. So.
And some of his crosses are a bit wayward, but yeah, I mean, overall, it was just a disappointing performance last night from everybody.
Yeah, you know. I think Antonio's probably another few weeks, isn't he? He was supposed to be back by now.
Yeah, I thought he was meant to be back soon. We and this is the thing. As much as we criticise him, we need him.
Yeah,
you know, and this is the thing with us. Look, me and you know this, Dan, from past. You know, we'll criticise players on their performances, right? When me and you both stood up and stuck our heads out, you know, above the parapet and turned around and said Bowen weren't cutting it. You know, his decision making in the final third, his finishing was poor. He needs to up his game. But the others ripped into us, and so did the people in the comments. And then he went on and had a fantastic run and a fantastic season. But we then said how fantastic he was. And this is the thing: we criticise players when they're badly, but we'll also praise players when they do well. Same with me with Phillips. I turned around and said, as much as he was poor last night, and I don't like him, I ain't going to judge him overall until he's played 4 or 5 games with us, where he's got to run in.
We never even said Bowen was shit. Like all we said is he needs to improve his finishing. His finishing is poor,
and he did.
It was,
and it worked. You know, and that's what I'm saying. We give praise where praise is due. And this is the same with me with Moyes. This is why I've never been really Moyes out. I've never been really Moyes in. I see why he frustrates people, see why he annoys people, but I also see why we stuck with him.
You've been on the fence as usual, Scott. Scott is the ultimate fence sitter. But yeah, look, he's given himself a lot of work, Moyes.
Yeah,
and you can see it written, you know, that we'll go and win our next 2 now, which will then everyone will be like, oh, brilliant, and then we'll go and, you know, it wouldn't surprise me, but we have to get results from these games now because of how many points that we have dropped.
Massively need to get them.
You know, so it's going to be tough. But look, you know, transfer window is a big missed opportunity, but in the summer we've got to do something. And I don't buy that we're so broke. You know, we spoke about it a bit yesterday, Scott. Like to make 105 million just from Rice. I think we sold a couple of other players in the summer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then on top of like I said, TV money, now we're in Europe, in Europa League. That consistent, like I'm not saying we should have money to spend 200 mil a season, but the summer rolls around now. I'm not expecting to hear all this penny pinching type of thing. Apparently, Paqueta, he might not be moving because this case could be dragging out until after the end of the next transfer window. So we might not see him go to Man City in the summer, which would be massive to keep him.
Massive.
You know, Bowen, Kudus, Paqueta have to be here next season if we're serious.
But it's also if we're getting a new manager. This is the thing as well. You need if you're looking to change and try and be more progressive and you know offer more, you need to keep your better attacking players. The worrying thing for me going into the summer, Dan, is that there's a lot of players now that need replacing. You know, you look at this. What we've Conor Coventry went out the door. Tilo Carey's gone out the door. Okay, that's a low move but he probably won't come back.
Yeah.
Ben Rama's gone out the door. Low move, probably won't come back. We've sold 4 else. We've lost 4 players. Yeah. 2 players permanently, potentially 2 players permanently come the summer. So it's 4 players.
We've only brought in 1 loan.
One loan.
Who may or may not no obligation or anything to buy.
Yeah. And then you're looking, right? So then you're looking at we can see Zuma's not got many years left in him. We've got a Bonner on the last year of his contract. They're talking of offering him another one. Creswell, needs to go in the summer. Ben Johnson yet to sign a new contract.
Yeah.
Right. So you're now sitting there saying right back, left back, 2 centre halves potentially you're going to need in the summer. Yeah. Midfield wise, I think we're fine at the moment. I think we'll be fine for next season as well with the midfielders that we've got. If you can get another one, great. But, and then you're looking Antonio, what's 33?
Yeah.
Coming towards the end, you need Kudus, Bowen, Paqueta. Cornet out of favour. Will he be out of favour when a new manager comes in? We don't know. Is the injury to his knees such a problem that he can't play? We don't know. We're not in that position. But you're then looking now, before you even look at attacking players, you've got to replace 5 defensive-minded players.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be cheap because you're not giving the youngsters the opportunities to play, to try and get into the side, to try and work their way in. So that's 5 you've got to replace. For me, Ollie Scars is the perfect replacement for Creswell on the left back. He looks like he's got what we need. Yeah. But it's going to take time and he's got to cement his place. There's other side players within that youth team and within the under 23s. Marshall going out. I hope he absolutely smashes it at West Brom because he could be very, very key coming back to us. If he can have a good run of games in the Championship, get some good goals, get some more confidence, bulk up a bit, he could be a player for us in the Premier League next season.
But this is it, and it's very expensive. Moyes' approach of really not giving youngsters a chance until they're basically shown their Declan Rice levels or something like that. Because of that, you don't then have those youngsters that you could be confident you've brought through because you're not spending money on them. So you have a Skulls, and then you get a few games this season and he impresses, and then you go into next season going, I'm confident with him as a left back cover for next season. We don't need a left back because we've got Emerson, we've got Skulls, right? That's then you look as it stands. Skulls is a big question mark. You can't go into next season with him as backup because he ain't played. So we have to spend money on a left back. And you go around the pitch again. If Johnson doesn't go, we're desperately going to need a right back. You've just pointed out all them positions, and that is going to cost money unless you start bargain hunting, which is a risk. It can work, it can pay off, but it's a risk. And that's the situation we've left ourselves in. So it's a big job for whatever manager comes in, but we need a manager that can develop the youth and will give them chances, be a bit braver.
But the problem is, Dan, is that we're not. I don't see us getting a manager like that. This is the thing, because it's we seem to be very thingy now of spending money to get the short-term game. You know what I mean? Because Moyes has had more money than anyone else, right? And as I said, statistically, he's our best Premier League manager. He's won us our first trophy in 40-odd years. But there comes a time when you've got to start looking, that can't be sustainable in the position we're in because the revenue income doesn't warrant that. We're not going out and developing a youngster. We're not going to get another Declan Rice where we're going to earn 100 million for a youngster that we've developed.
Oh. Yeah. I'm telling you, I would take Bielsa. I know it's not popular, but I think Bielsa would be that man. He would tick a lot of boxes. He's a top quality manager. He plays attacking football, and he is all about developing the youngsters. It is very focused on that. And I think people will look at the end of his Leeds time and just judge him solely off that. You give him this West Ham side versus a Leeds that had not long been promoted into the Premier League.
Yeah.
You give him these players, that front three, you give him more money than he was getting at Leeds, a Premier League team that had been in Europe to build off of. I think he would be brilliant. I think he'd be brilliant. And he's one of the most respected managers among managers. So people can't act like he's shit.
But the thing is with Bielsa, so you've got the stubbornness with Moyes of this defensive, safe football. Bielsa's downfall at Leeds is because he was stubborn that we're going to go all out attack the whole time.
But Ange Postecoglou is the same, and like West Ham fans are now going, I wish we had him.
But not being funny, Dan, this is why Spurs won't win anything.
Yeah, but but pick your poison, Scott. What would you rather have, a stubborn defensive manager or a stubborn attacking manager?
Again, this goes back to: do you want to be entertained or do you want to win things? Unless you've got the finances and the quality of players that you get at Manchester City or at Liverpool, you can't have the two.
Yeah, but Aston Villa's not playing like us, are they? And
but they're not going to win anything.
They've got
a good chance of winning the Conference League. Actually, yeah, you are right. But and this is the thing, mate. This is the problem you've got. It's finding the right fit for the next manager because, yes, we have got a Bowen, a Kudus, and a Paquetá attacking wise, right? And they're great. You've got no backup to that. You've got okay backup. You've got no backup, right? So then you've got to be looking to be more progressive with the players you bring in attacking wise, which then you start suffering defensively. You can't. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Unless you've got a top quality manager, you're not going to get a manager who will change his game plan to the opposition you're playing. You're not going to get it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, so you could say is, if you got a manager that prioritizes attack, you're not going to win anything. And yes, we did win the Conference League with David Moyes, but I think if we was a team that prioritized attack over defense, we'd still have won that trophy. Going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Is defensive football going to win us another trophy unless we get back into the Conference League Are we going to win a Europa League? Are we going to win an FA Cup? Are we going to win a Carabao Cup? And if the answer is no, then wouldn't you rather still not win those trophies
and be
but have a
entertained? Of
manager?
course,
Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
and then you've at least got something. So it's like,
of course. Well, that's it. But because you're turning up and being entertained, and that is part and parcel of football. Football's an entertainment. Yeah, we go there because we enjoy. Look, we go there because we love West Ham, and West Ham's
how bored were we last night, Scott?
Mate, name the last time when we beat Arsenal was the last time we wasn't bored at that stadium. Oh, sorry, no, when we beat Man United, because Man United was after the Arsenal Cup game, weren't it?
Yeah.
But even that wasn't great. It was more entertaining because we won.
Yeah.
You know, Brighton, Bristol City, last night, Palace. There's more, you can sit here, count more games that you've stood in that stand and thinking, I could go home now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And that's the thing, even if we got a last minute winner, right? And that you'd be buzzing. We'd be like, oh, fucking, it'd be amazing. You still go for 90 plus minutes where it was mind numbing and it was torture. We suffered to watch that team. Went out into the cold, freezed our asses off on a Thursday night.
Yep.
And we suffered. So yeah, you take that and go, it's brilliant, but you still had to go through pain of watching that for 90 minutes.
But you go through the pain of watching that and walk away with 3 points. It's a big difference. Makes the pain of watching boring football much easier to take.
It does. Yeah. No, of course it does. And listen, if we was winning and we was dominating and we was like dominating in terms of winning games, playing shit football, you can swallow it. It's tough. It's a tough one. But yeah, personally, I think Bielsa would be a good fit. I think we're much better than Leeds were. We have a better squad, better players. And I would love to see it, whether that happens. Everything's still up in the air. Moyes still ain't signed a new deal. So everything's up in the air at the moment. I hope he can win us the Europa League and go down as one of the biggest legends of all legends, but we'll see.
As I said, I'd love it. If we could win that Europa League, right, and we get to the summer, we win Europa League, and he just walks away.
Yeah. Give him a fucking statue if he wins that. Listen, I'll be out there. I'll be the hammer and chisel.
Yeah, exactly, mate. And that's the thing, because he will then walk away of the legacy of he's delivered 2 European trophies back to back. He's qualified for the team for the. But the problem is, Dan, we win that Europa League, win the Champions League. Moyes is going to want to play Champions League football.
And do you know what? Fucking, I'll say, go for it, mate. You've earned it. I will
then I'll get ridiculed. Then I'll get ridiculed in the comments for last night for saying a similar thing.
No, but this is the thing, Scott. You got ridiculed, right? Because what you were saying is we need to be in Europe to get a progressive manager, right? Is where I think we don't necessarily need to be. As long as you have a plan, you have an ambition, you show a manager, look, we've been in Europe. We think you are the man to get us back there. We're not far off. Rather than wait until you fall out of Europe, then you try and get in again and fall further down the table, and then you're in a relegation battle. Then you try and get this manager in and say, now come in, now take us from relegation to, you know what I mean? It's not, if we finished 8th, I don't think that's the difference between getting a quality progressive manager and not. You know what I mean?
I think it's more attractive if we're in Europe.
It is, of course it is. Of course it's more attractive
to the players.
Yeah, of course it's more attractive. It doesn't mean we can't get one because we're in Europe.
I just don't see us getting one if we're not in Europe.
No, but I think we can, as long as but the thing is, it depends on who that man. If you're talking about big name manager, right? A Xavi Alonso or something, right? Which it looks like he's going to go to Liverpool anyway. So look, but I'm just saying, a manager like that, yeah, right. But if you have a Stuyatan whose job is to find the next Xavi Alonso, who's maybe in the Dutch league or somewhere else. Wenger was in the Japanese league before he went to Arsenal.
Yeah, of course.
So, you know, and look, Postecoglou was in fucking Australia, then he was in Scottish league. You don't need to find the obvious names. We're also focused on the big names. Exactly.
Yeah, you saw Childsy put it up earlier. He said Mourinho, because wherever he goes, he wins something. You've got to. I get that, and I get that with Mourinho. He has that effect, but we also know with Mourinho, you're looking at a 2-year plan, and then you got to get him out the door. Because it just completely goes wrong. You see that in Roma. That's why he left Roma. That's why he left Chelsea. It just seems to all go wrong. And like you said, yeah, you've got to gamble. You've got to be looking. You've got to trust in your recruitment. You've got to trust in the people out there scouting. But you've got to have the plan, right? And we see with Brighton, you see the Brighton chairman come out the other day and turn around and say, even though they're doing well, they're looking for a new manager already. Not because they're going to sack the manager, not because they know that managers could end up going to get a bigger job somewhere else. So they're being realistic on, they've got ambition to get into, to continue playing in Europe, to be as high as they can in the Premier League and potentially winning a cup somewhere along the line. They've got that potential. They think their manager can take them to that level, but they're also realistic that that manager has got bigger clubs sniffing around him.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it says there, apparently Bournemouth's manager, was it Areola? Not Areola, but Areola or something like that. Has only got 18 months left, and that could be that maybe be a shrewd signing.
And this is it. It's finding the right fit to what you want to do as a club. Football's changed to how it used to be, right? It is now, to succeed, you need a progressive plan for sides not like us. For sides like us, sorry, like what you're seeing at Brighton, get into the from the Championship into the Premier League, progression. Keep progressing, keep going forward as far as you can go forward. And they're constantly looking for new players, constantly looking for new managers, right? So that if things go a bit wrong, they sack a manager, or one of the big boys comes in and goes, "We want your manager." We go, right, well, Graham Potter's gone to Chelsea, right? Well, this is our guy. Boom, straight in the job. Hits the ground running, takes the team that Potter had, makes them better.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And look, this is the thing in Gemma asked there about, would you want to work with our board as a manager? And look, Sullivan, we all know the type of bloke Sullivan is, but I think the infrastructure around the club is a lot better now. You have Steidten, Noble. Steidten's brought in the young statistician from Germany. He's brought his brother in. So we have a team there. Now, this team, I don't know what they were doing this January or what happened, but look, we look to the summer. There's time to plan. But the problem is, if Steidten doesn't know if Moyes is staying or going, then that limits the work that he can do of, okay, I really need to be finding a manager. If we spring it on him, like right in season, it's like, actually, we're not keeping Moyes. And now start looking for a manager.
It's going to be...
we want to be starting that now. I hope he'd at least be shortlisting.
But this is it. You've got to be shortlisted. We said this last night with the transfer window. You're worrying about doing your business on deadline day. As soon as one window shuts, the scouting network should be looking, okay, right, well, this is how the season's going. We need a new left winger. We need a new striker. We need a new centre half. So you should be picking out them players. The problem with what you've got with Sullivan and all that before, as we know, because we've been to events where people have said it, they dismantled the scouting network we had. They dismantled the youth scouting network that we had. One by one, they picked it off, right? And now we're at a stage where we didn't have anyone. And now we need to rebuild that. Okay, they've brought in Steidten, and Steidten seems to be the man that can get things. Nobes is out there looking at players, as much as Steidten gets the credit for people like Kudus and all that. These are players Noble was looking at last season. It's this is the thing. It's having that network of people out there. Who's the other guy we got? Is it Newman?
No, Newman's gone.
There's someone who's sort of looking around South American leagues.
Newman was phased out, or he's been phased out, and he's just an advisor now. But
we've still got people out, and this is what I'm saying. It's having that network of going to different areas. You look at sides. A lot of the foreign European sides, they're plucking players out of African players out of Africa, because they're sending scouts out there to look at people. South American side. Sorry. There's always players there potentially that could come through. And it seems to be that European teams have more of a gamble of taking on these players. Maybe it's easier for them to get, because of certain links to certain different countries, it's easier for them to get visas and work permits and all that. But it's having that network of a decent scouting network. And that's something we've not had at our club for a long time.
Yeah. Well, that's, and look, the summer's going to prove a lot, and we just need and we need to have the money to spend. There's no, I'm not hearing any excuses, no sell to buy nonsense. After we've seen what we've done, we look like we're going to be getting. Go on.
No, I think it's just teams are scared at the minute to spend money. That's what it just seems like to me. Because look how quiet this January transfer window is normally very, very busy. This has been the quietest one I've ever known since it came about. And someone said it in the comments earlier. I'm a big believer. Scrap it, get rid of it, go back to how it was. Be allowed to sign players all the way up until a certain period.
But the thing is, Scott, is the reason why we was hearing that we was waiting for so long to move Ben Rama and Fornals on is we was waiting to have players to replace them lined up. What we've done is we've waited, pissed about, and then just sold them anyway, or loaned them with a view to selling them.
Yeah, you look at the players who were meant to be Jota and Osman, weren't it?
Yeah,
so the two we were after to take that left wing position, and then there was always a stumbling block. Oh, agent! There's two agents involved. There's an agent. Surely, if you're doing your due diligence in the build up to you've identified these players that you want, you should know how many agents these players have got. You should know all the ins and outs of what these players have got, what you've got to deal with in signing this player. Yeah, I think with one of them that didn't like in the end, the football club wanted more money or something like that, and it reeks back to teams doing to us what Sullivan does to them.
Yeah, 100%. And on this, I don't think Stuyton is going to Liverpool. I know that they've linked with him, but Liverpool been linked with him. But I
could see Alonso not going to Liverpool.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think a lot of things are up in the air at the moment. But I think Stuyton, he's just got his team in that he wants to get. He's selected his team. I feel like he's just getting started with his project, and unless they, offered him crazy money and all of this stuff, I can't see him off in the summer. I'd be surprised. So Liverpool have a big job on their hands to replace Klopp, and whoever comes in again, whoever that new manager is, they might have their guy, or they might go, I recommend someone, or I don't know. But I think Stuyton will still be here next season, in my opinion.
There's no reason for him not to be. That's the thing, mate. There's no reason for him not to be. Things as much as we're fed up with the style of play and all that, things are still looking good for this football club. We're in a lot better position. We're high up in the league. We're in the last 16 of a European competition again. So there's a lot of positives to take from this season. And if you're involved in the club in the back room, there's a lot of positives to take. So I don't think he'll go anywhere.
Yeah, and there's a lot to see. We'll see what happens in terms of ownership. Kretinsky apparently is a big reason that we wasn't in FFP trouble. But I don't know how interested he is in terms of being a football owner, and rather than just an investor, what he's done and tried to earn his money back, he could potentially sell his shares. Sullivan, it'd been such a perfect time for him to at least he could say, look, I've delivered European football. I've helped us win a trophy, or I've owned the club while we've won a trophy. There's my legacy. Thank you all. See you later.
But Dan, that's not happening. There's one time when he leaves the club, and that'll be when we own that stadium, or we don't have to pay any money to the LDC or the government. That is when he leaves that football club.
That's it needs to.
There is one other reason, but I'm not going to say it because I don't wish ill with anyone. So
no. But it's just that I just hope that we don't see it passed down to his kids. That's all I just have to say is I do not want to see his kids owning this club and running it through Football Manager. Heaven forbid. But so listen, mate. I think we've said all we can say on that. So
we've got to look ahead to Sunday, haven't we?
Sunday. I think Miss Amaret asked about a watch along. Yes, I'll hopefully there will be one. I should be going around the studio and see what Jace is saying. So hopefully there will be one for the Man United game. And so it'll be good. And then I don't know if Nicky going up there. I don't think he is he?
I'm not too sure, mate. The problem is because we've all got full-time jobs, and it's we've all got families and other things, and it's this year has been very, very manic. I think this season's been manic for all of us, so this is why you're not seeing us as much as you usually do. So it's just we've all got lots going on outside of football, and it's just hard finding the time. That's all.
Yeah, but hopefully things that are moving and working behind the scenes will happen, and we'll be regular again.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
So, but yeah, mate, it was a good show, and just thank you for everyone that watching and all your comments. You know, it's you're all brilliant, and I love the community that we've built here over the years. I think you're all just great people, and even when we're not reading all the comments out, I'm reading them all, and it's just great to see that everyone interacts with each other, and I think it's the best community on YouTube. So give yourselves
totally agree, mate. Totally agree.
Shout out.
It's good to see when we do get to see people at games and things like that, and they come and say hello. It's good to put a face to the name.
Yeah. Well, that was it. Like I said, because you see him, and Matt Rainey was like, "I'm Matt Rainey," and I knew exactly. Yeah. I was like, "Oh, bloody hell!" Like because I see him in the chat all the time. So yeah, it's always nice. But yeah, so hope you all have a smashing weekend. And listen, let's hope for some positivity and a great result on Sunday, because we bloody need
to. Mate, don't worry, we're gonna get it. We're coming back from Old Trafford with 3 points, all buzzing to take on Arsenal next week. So
yeah, mate, listen, I'll forget it all if we beat Arsenal for a third time, mate. I'm not saying nothing for the rest of the season. Oh my god, it'll be brilliant. Listen, I'm just gonna not moan. I'm just gonna enjoy it. Exactly. But yeah, so there should be a watch along, Miss Amaret. Fingers crossed. I need to.
Good to hear, mate. Good to hear.
So yeah. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Have a good weekend. One thing left to say. Come on, you